This is lesson 5, chapter 6, and the title of this lesson is More Two-Step Equations. And we go back to the essential question, what does it mean to say that two quantities are equal? So last lesson we talked about how to solve two-step equations. And in this lesson, we are going to deal more, or we are going to look at more two-step equations and more real-world examples for this. Okay? So again, we go to the real world link, museums. A new exhibit about dinosaurs is being constructed. The exhibit is a rectangle that is 30 feet long, 36 feet long, I'm sorry. It has a perimeter of 114 feet. Follow the steps to write an equation that can be used to find the width of the museum exhibit. So step number one, okay, is to draw a diagram, okay, to help visualize the exhibit. Remember, it is a rectangle that is 36 feet long, meaning the length is 36 feet. The perimeter is 114 feet, okay? So basically, you are, there is an assumption in this particular problem that you know the formula for perimeter of a rectangle, okay? So let's take a look at this step number one. Again, draw a diagram, label the length and the width, and let W represent the width. Why is that? Because it's asking here, uh, follow the steps, write an equation that can be used to find the width. So we're looking for the width. And that's the reason why we let W represent the width. We draw a rectangle. This is how it looks like. Okay. This is your length, which is 36 feet. That is the width, which we don't know, and it is defined by W. Okay, step number two. Okay, step number two, write an expression that represents the sum of the length and width of the exhibit. Okay, so since the length is 36, okay, and the width is W, I'm going to write down 36 plus W. Okay, step number three, write an expression that says that represents twice the sum of the length and the width. So that is the sum of the length and the width. And it says write an expression that represents twice the sum of the length and the width. And that is going to be 2 times 36 plus W. Okay. Step number four, write an expression that represents uh, the perimeter of the exhibit. Okay. So remember what the formula for perimeter is. Okay, formula for perimeter is equal to 2 times the quantity length plus W. Okay, so since we have two twice the length plus the width, which is this one right here, we equate it to the perimeter, which we know, which is 114. Okay, so we broke down this problem and we basically wrote an equation on how to find the width of this rectangle. Okay, let's take a look at the next concept that we are discussing about two-step equations. And an equation like what we just did, like 2 times W plus 36 equals 114, is in the form of P times the quantity X plus Q equals R. It contains two factors, okay, P and X plus Q. X plus Q. Remember what factors are. Those are two numbers that you multiply together. So in this case, it's going to be P times X plus Q are the two factors. And it's considered a two-step equation. Solve these equations using the properties of equality. Okay, so this is another type of equation, two-step equation that we can solve, okay, using our properties of equality. And remember all four, okay? So method, let's take a look at example number one. Example number one says solve 3 times the quantity x plus 5 equals 45. Okay. Now method number one, we're going to solve this arithmetically, meaning we are going to draw a bar diagram. Okay. So it says 3 times x plus 5. So we basically have 3 of the x plus 5 because it's this 3 times x plus 5. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. It says draw bar diagram. From the diagram, you can see that x plus 5 equals 45 divided by 3 or 15. So x is 15 minus 5 or 10. So this is 45. That's what it equates to. This is 3 times x plus 5. Okay? Now, if you look at it very closely, we know that the value of x is equal to 10, because if I substitute 10 to x, that's 10 plus 5 is 15, 15, 15, which will equal 45. Okay? That's solving it arithmetically, and the method that we want to use is we want to solve it algebraically. Okay, and this is the method that we are going to use. So first things first, okay, we write the equation down. 3 times the quantity x plus 5 equals 45. And we are going to, since these are factors, 3 times x plus 5 equals 45, we can use the division property of equality to undo 3. So if you use the division property of equality, we can undo 3, divide both sides by 3. The 3 cancels out. And since it's a property of equality, we need to divide it to both sides. So we divide 3, okay? The 3 cancels out. We're left with x plus 5 equals 15. So from here, we're left with one-step equation, meaning we need to undo positive 5. In order to do that, we subtract 5 to both sides of the equation. Okay, the 5 cancels out. We're left with x is equal to 10. Okay, so that's how we do example number one. Let's take a look at example number two. Now, example number two, we are going to use method two from this point forward. Okay, so we have solved 5 times the quantity n times the quantity n minus 2 equals negative 30. Again, first copy the problem down. 5 times the quantity n minus 2 equals negative 30. Again, this is a multiplication equation. So there, the 5 and n minus 2 are factors. So we need to undo 5. For us to undo 5, we use the division property of equality, and we divide both sides by 5. Doing that, the 5 cancels out, and we are left with n minus 2 equals negative 6, because negative 30 over 5 is negative 6. So we're left with a one-step equation. We need to undo negative 2, and in order to undo negative 2, we add 2 to both sides. So we add 2 to both sides. The negative 2 cancels out because that's a 0. We're left with n equals negative 4. Okay? Do the guided problems A, B, and C, and let's see if you understand examples 1 and 2. Now let's take a look at equations with rational coefficients. Remember what rational coefficients are. Okay, they can be fractions or they can be decimals. Okay, so sometimes the factor p in p times the quantity x plus q will be a fraction or a decimal. That's why it's called rational coefficients. Okay, so this number right here can be a fraction or a decimal. And this is exactly what we have in example number 3. So in example number 3, we want to solve 2/3 times the quantity n plus 6 equals 10. Okay, so first we copy the equation down. 2/3 times the quantity n plus 6 equals 10. We need to undo 2/3. And remember, this is a multiplication equation. So therefore, we need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2/3. Okay, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3 over 2. And once we multiply it by 3 over 2, the 2/3 cancels out, okay? And we're left with n plus 6, okay? So n plus 6 equals 3 over 2 times 10. And we again cross cancel, okay? 3 over 2 over 10 is the same as 10 over 1, so we cancel out 2. That's a 1, that's a 5, okay? Because the GCF is 2. So both ones, 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 5 is 15. So it's 15 over 1, or simply 15. Okay, so we have n plus 6 equals 15. And then we do the subtraction property of equality to undo positive 6, meaning we need to subtract 6 to both sides, and we end up with n equals 9. Okay? So if we want to check if our solution is correct or not, we go to our check again. We simply substitute the value of the 9, which is the value of n, back to the equation. So this becomes 2/3 times the quantity. 9 plus 6, is it equal to 10? We know that 9 plus 6 is 15 times 2/3. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let me get rid of that one. This is the one that we want. Okay, where is it? There you go. And we know that 10 is equal to 10. Okay, because the 9 plus 6 is 15, and 2/3 of 15 is 10, and we've checked our solution. Let's take a look at another equation. This time we are using a decimal as a rational coefficient, and we have to check our solution. So again, copy the problem down. Zero point 0.2 times the quantity c minus 3 equals -10. Since again, this is a multiplication equation, we use the division property of equality by dividing both sides by 0.2. So we divide both sides by 0.2. The 0.2 cancels out. You're left with c minus 3 over -10 over 0.2, which is the same as -50. So what I did here was that you get -10, divide that by 0.2, will give you -50. Now using the addition property of equality, we add 3 to both sides to undo -3. That becomes a 0. You bring down c, and -50 plus 3 is -47. So the value of c here is -47. And again, if we want to check it, we simply substitute -47 to the c of the original equation. And if we substitute that one, 0.2 times the quantity -47 minus 3, is it equal to 10? We know that -47 minus 3 is -50 times 0.2 is actually -10. So we actually checked our solution. The sentence is true. Okay, do the guided problems D to F. Let's see if you understand examples 3 and 4. And finally, example number 5. Okay, Jamal and 2 cousins receive the same amount of money to go to a movie. Each boy spent $15. Okay, afterwards, the boy had $30 altogether. So the boys, I'm sorry, had $30 altogether. So what we're being asked to do is write and solve an equation to find the amount of money each boy received. So again, what do we know? Each boy spent 15 bucks. Afterwards, the boys, okay, had 30 bucks altogether, meaning the sum of their money is $30. So what are we trying to look for? We are trying to find the amount of money each boy received. So that will be our let statement, and that's how we are going to define our variable. Our variable will be let M represent the amount of money each boy received, because that's what we are looking for. Okay, so knowing that each boy spent $15, okay, meaning when you spend money, you basically take it out of your pocket, away from your wallet, or you subtract it from what you have right now. So your original amount, which is M, okay, which each boy received right here, okay, you are so going to subtract $15. So subtract $15. Now you have an equation which says M minus 15, okay? Now, uh, where is the 3 coming from? Okay, because it's saying here 3 times M minus 15 equals 30. Now, why is it 3? Because it's saying Jamal and 2 cousins. Jamal and 2 cousins actually equal 3 people. That's where the 3 is coming from. Okay, so the 3 of them times the quantity M minus 15 because they spent $15. And after that, they have money remaining, which is 30 bucks. Now we have an equation. We can solve this using the division property of equality. To undo 3, we divide both sides of the equation by 3. 3 is undone because it cancels out. We have M minus 15 and 30 over 3 is 10. So M minus 15 equals 10. And finally, to solve this, we undo negative 15 by adding 15 to both sides using the addition property of equality. So we add 15 to both sides. This becomes 0. M equals 25. So each boy actually received 25 bucks. Now, if you want to check if this is correct or not, okay, so each boy had $25 at the beginning. They spent $15 each. So that means 25 minus 15 is 10. So that means if you add their money all together, 10 plus 10 plus 10 will give you 30. So it makes sense. Okay? Do the word problem after this, and we are done with the lesson. Thank you for watching.